Welcome back to our Getting Results Through Others workshop we've put together for you. This is a training for managers and supervisors, and this is part 9. This is going to be a focus on customer service. If we look down in the notes below, we have the 8 other videos and the introduction are there, and so you get a chance to run back through and look at anything you may have missed or want to rewatch. I also want to encourage you to hit the subscribe button so that you can get more of this information to help you be the best manager or supervisor available. In the introduction, we talked about where do today's managers come from, and we say that most managers have what we call an MBA. They became manager by accident, maybe by being in the right place at the right time, maybe the son or the daughter of the owner, maybe being the longest tenured employee. And one day you move from staff member to, with a snap of a finger, you become a manager. And that's not necessarily a problem. We've said that over and over again. We just want to make sure you have the right skills to be an effective manager. An effective manager gets results through others. And what are those skills? We've surveyed our clients over time, and that's how I built this video series for you. We talked in that first video about helping team members be more productive and communicating effectively. We've talked on the videos about activity and results, clarifying goals and expectations, motivating people to produce. We had the video on training techniques. We talked about decision making and problem solving. Our last video was on teamwork, and we're going to finish this one out today on customer service and try to give you a couple ideas to elevate your customer service. Some of this information comes from a book from Lisa Ford on called The Loyalty Factor. And most companies today focus on lowering costs, and rightfully so, because costs are a big part of what we do. But sometimes we forget about the value of a customer. And I want to start by saying that going beyond customers' expectations, a 3% increase on your current client is equal to cutting costs by 10%. Now, every industry is going to be different, but based on the information from Lisa Ford's book, Loyalty Factor, that's what she estimates and averages. A 3% increase from your current client base is the same as cutting costs by 10%. So a customer is pretty valuable. It costs 8 times more to get a new customer than it takes to keep an existing customer. Now, I'm talking to you as a supervisor and a manager so that you understand this, but you also want to make sure that your team understands the value of a customer. So what is the value of a customer? And sometimes I think we overlook this. So I'm going to refer back to the pizza story I think I told you in the last video about when I was a young man. I did work for a pizza company. Again, I think I was 16 or 17 years old, and I was delivering pizzas. And the guy who owned it was amazing, and he worked with me and taught me a lot about business. But he used to say this. He said, Dane, if you walk into a pizza company and you buy a pizza, once you've exchanged the money and the cashier hands you your pizza, you may get a thank you for coming in or a have a good day, but not much more than that. But if you were to walk into a Best Buy and you walked in, they said, how can I help you? And you said, hey, I'm here to find the best surround sound system and TV set you have. You're going to be surrounded by folks willing to help you to go the extra mile for that $10,000 or $11,000 surround sound system. And what he taught me about the pizza business was this, the value of a customer. He said, Dane, one thing that you have to know is the value of your customer. He said, Dane, if your average customer buys the average number of pizzas over the average lifetime, one customer of mine is worth about $12,000 to $13,000. And when you're delivering a pizza, I want you to think of that $13,000 transaction. And he understood the value of a customer. And I think it's in our hands to understand the value of a customer. Maybe your average transaction is only a few dollars, like a pizza, or $10 or $12. But what does that equate to over time? And do you and do your employees understand the value of your customer over time? So that's a great point to keep in mind. Again, keeping those customers or just increasing your current customer base 3% is equivalent to a 10% decrease in costs. Pretty easy. Keep your good customers and keep them happy. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is handling angry customers. Handling angry customers. And this is a quote that was given to me by a friend of mine, and I think it's so fantastic. You know, I think that we're in a day and age today where when we deal with retail or we're a customer in an environment, it's almost become customer service has become to the point where if it's not a bad experience, we almost consider it to be a good experience. And that's got to change, and we've got to have a focus on making sure we maintain and keep our customer base. And Dave Curry gave me this quote, and I think it's so right. He says, when policies, procedures, programs, and products become more important than people, we have a problem. And so the first thing, a point on customer service we want to talk about today is if your employees are leading with our policy is or our procedure is when they're handling customer complaints, we want to make sure and change that focus to making sure that the customer is the top priority. So I think that's pretty good. The second point I want to talk about is when you are dealing with an angry customer, you can make no progress to keeping that customer and keeping them as a lifelong customer if you don't follow this simple rule. You have to move an angry customer from emotion to logic before resolving an issue. And so many people miss this point. When you have an angry customer, there is going to be a point of emotion. For some people, it might be just a few seconds. For some people, it might be a few minutes. But when you have an angry customer, something has gone wrong, and we cannot resolve their issue until you've had the opportunity to allow them to move from emotion to logic before resolving that issue. If you keep that one point in mind, it will make a difference in maintaining the customers when you do make a mistake somewhere along the road, and keep them as a current lifelong customer. Hope that's helpful for you. So your challenge this week is to think about the value of what one customer is worth to you over a lifetime, and make sure you treat him in that same way. All my contact information is available for you here. I hope these training sessions have been valuable. I'd look for any feedback you have. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get more updates from us. And make sure you share this information. Good luck. Share your success stories with us, and we'll talk to you soon.